Hey everybody, it's Julie. Thanks for joining me here today on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel for a Bible journaling process video. I'm using the Alpha and Omega collection. I'm going to be here in Revelation 1 verse 8, which says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, says the Lord. I am the one who is, who always was, and who is to come, the Almighty One. I'm going to be doing some stamping and some paper piecing, using some embellishments from the Faith-Filled Digitals, as well as the actual physical kit, the Faith Art Box. I'm going to go ahead and get us started and put us on fast forward. Okay, so I'm clipping my page with my Bible mat behind it, and I've cut out some squares from the Faith-Filled Digitals. Now I'm taking some craft cardstock and I'm going to stamp these wood stamps on it. There's the inside of the wood and then the outside, which is the bark, and it makes kind of like a wood cookie, a wood coin. And I'm stamping it in 3 different colors. This is Plum Baroque, and then I'll come in with Cocktail Olive, and then also Powder Puff Blue, and then I will stamp the bark ring around it in the color Mink, which is a nice brown color. These are all the some of the pigment inks from Creative Retreat kits from the shop. And what I really like about this stamp is it shows the rings inside of the tree, which signify typically the age of the tree. And trees are some of the oldest known things to humans. Some of the trees out there, as a matter of fact, at the summer camp where I work, there's a tree called Old Dan, and it is supposed to be, they've aged it to be about 1,800 years old. And it's just so cool. And this reminds me of this passage, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, who was and who is to come. That's talking about the comprehensiveness of God, the eternal aspect of God. So I'm stamping those 2 curved stamps that say the Alpha and the Omega and the beginning and end inside of those coins. Now here on screen, I'm getting some color onto my page by doing some splatter painting. So I take that ink and just apply it onto some clear packaging, wet it with a paintbrush, pick that up, and then splatter it. I'm also marking off my verse. This is the Plum Baroque color. Now I switched to a fatter paintbrush because I wanted those spots, those splatters, to be a little more definite and pronounced. And that'll just give me some color onto my page as my background. So I'm going to finish that up, and I will dry this afterwards. You could just let it air dry. I hit it with my heat tool. Now I'm going to cut out these coins, and I'm going to use one as the focal point for my page, and then the other 2 I'm going to cut up, and they're going to be just some added embellishments. So I'm going to take now those paper pieces, the squares that I made, and I'm going to place those across the middle of the page. And I will carefully apply just a tad bit of adhesive to the back just to kind of keep those in place, but I can still maneuver them and work with them, manipulate them. So this passage again, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, it's talking about the comprehensiveness of God. And I decided to stamp all those different words on my page here. This is using the Victory stamp set, and then I'm also going to bring in the Symbols companion stamp set. And you didn't see me stamp the word Alpha. That was off screen. I actually lost that footage. I didn't lose the footage. I don't think I ever recorded it. So now I'm going to stamp in those blue squares the symbols for Alpha and Omega. Alpha, of course, means the beginning, the first, and Omega is the last letter of the Greek alphabet, and it means the end, the last. And it's so cool. God is describing himself as kind of paradoxical, to be the beginning and the end, the first and the last. it's hard to understand, but God is so comprehensive. He is so complete. We can't understand that aspect of him, that he was the uncreated creator. He was the unoriginated originator. He was the first and the last. He was the last and the first. And what's really cool here, I'm in the book of Revelation, and it is talking about the end times. And the end of this earth is actually the beginning of our life, our new life, our forever life. And that, again, goes to that paradox. So here on screen, I'm stamping, and I used that curved stamp that you can see in the middle of the coin, the wood coin, but I actually straightened it and then masked some off with washi tape so I could stamp just those isolated words. And then I also pulled out the stamps first and last from the Upside Down Kingdom kit. So I will link that stamp set for you because it is still available, I believe. And now here I'm taking those wooden coins and I'm cutting them in half, and I'm going to poke out those from the edges. And now I decided to cut out with, this is a 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and I have found that it works so much better cutting with cardstock than it works with paper. So if you put some cardstock behind the paper, it cuts really well. Otherwise, it doesn't get a clean cut on just plain paper. Okay, so I'm now going to take that rest of the other blue piece, and I'm going to trim that down and just have that fill in some of these spots. And you can see I stamped the beginning above alpha, and then underneath omega I stamped and the end, and then I stamped the words first and last inside of that alpha and the omega symbol. So I really want to remind myself of this aspect of God, the first and the last, the beginning and the end, how complete, how comprehensive, how incomprehensible God is. Here we go. So I'm just placing all of these pieces down now, kind of making a bar across the middle. And I'm going to take that middle piece and pop it up with some foam adhesive squares. And then I'm going to do the same with that wooden coin right there. And then these two pieces I'm just going to tuck up underneath, and I'll add some more of the stickers and a little bit more stamping to that. Another aspect that I love about God being the Alpha and the Omega talks about that throughout Scripture. It even refers to that in the book of Isaiah, then in the book of Colossians, and then several times here in the book of Revelation. So it's an aspect of God that he refers to both in the Old Testament and the New Testament. I'm taking some olive green fiber, some strings, and I think I got this from the Target dollar spot a couple years ago, and I'm placing that across those paper pieces. And now I'm going to adhere my Alpha and Omega stamped pieces, and I'm going to place those up underneath the ribbon, but I'm going to do it in such a way that you can still see the word first that I stamped and then the word last that I stamped. They're going to peek out from in between the two ribbons. And using that double-sided foam tape also helps the string to adhere. And I use some of the Barely Art glue, I think it's called. It's very sticky and it's got a precision tip, so that works really well. So I'm placing those inside, just tucking those in there. And now I'm going to take one of the flourish stamps and just kind of have them peek out on the other sides. I'm using a little piece of paper to mask off so I don't stamp onto the patterned paper there. And when you're working in the gutter in the corner of your pages, you have to manipulate your block sometimes and just curve it around and spin it around. So now I'm taking the longer flourish piece and I'm going to stamp that. And now I'm going to take the two bookend stickers, the owl bookend stickers from the decor sticker sheet, and I'm going to give a little bit of an edge to that by just brushing it with a makeup blending brush, and I use the Mink ink, and just put a little bit of color around the edge of those owls because they looked very, very white against this page, which is more of the neutral colors, the cream and the beige and the browns. I'm going to embellish with a few little wonky heart stickers. I added the two word fetty stickers that say first and last. I'm going to add a couple of the tiny little heart circles and also the cross sticker. And let's see, I'm going to add some washi tape. Now you can't see what I did up at the top. You'll see it in the still shots, but I put a couple of tabs up there, and then the word fetty sticker that says Christ. And this is just some washi tape from my stash. And then I'm also going to cut out one of the circles, the one that has the alpha and omega symbol, and put that up at the top. Now I'm going to use the alphabet stickers, and I'm going to spell out Revelation. I'll abbreviate that. 1 verse 8 up at the top. That's in the blue sticker. And then down at the bottom, I'll bring in the plum stickers, and I'm going to put my date with the stickers. So that's a neat way to use those stickers, and it kind of framed the page too. I'm going to come in and outline my elements with a black precision pen, a journaling pen, and I'm going to add a little bit of journaling. Outline my verse, and here's where I'm going to cut out that coin with my 1-inch punch. And again, I placed some cardstock behind it because it was just printed on paper, and by putting that cardstock behind it, it helps it to punch better, get a cleaner punch. So I add my journaling, and I just talk about how magnificent and comprehensive God is, and that he's a God of paradox, but not in a bad way. We can't understand God. We can't comprehend God. That's what it is. But I can't wait to continue to learn about him forever and ever. So I added some black splatter painting. And now I decided to come in where the word says alpha and just hand letter in script the word first. And then where it says omega, I come in and hand letter the word last. So you can still read both of those words. Here's some still shots of my page. And if you have any comments or questions about this page or this process or this kit, please leave them in the comment section. I'll be sure to check those. I will have all the products linked in the description box. Just heads up, most of those are affiliate links. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much. God bless.